What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today, I think we got a little bit of a fun one. This is something I brainstormed up, reached out to Gemrate to see if he had any data on this stuff. And he had some. It's not like 100% locked into the individual card, but I felt like it was close enough to give us kind of an idea. We talk about the big four grading companies all the time. PSA, SGC, CGC, Beckett. You know, he does the monthly tracking. We pay attention to it, the moving, the shaking, the whole 9 yards. And always in the comment sections of those videos, I get comments going, what about Tag? What about, not so much anymore, what about HGA? How about that Arena Club place? And if anyone has been around the channel for a long time, I am a major backer of using any one of the four major grading companies. I don't care which one of the four that you use, PSA, Beckett, CGC, SGC. I have always been of the belief that there is no real reason to use any of these, what I have termed over the years, pop-up grading companies. If you don't like PSA, I get it. You have three other high-quality, long-established options in the hobby. Use one of those three. If you don't like one of them, use one of the other ones. You don't like SGC slab, use CGC. You want subgrades, use Beckett. So, but I always get the comments, like I said, about, I think people don't realize exactly, one, still how small these even established pop-up grading companies are, and honestly, how few cards they are grading each month. You know, I always see, especially the tag bots is what I refer to them as, because I swear they have people auto commenting on posts, especially on Instagram, but even sometimes in YouTube comments, about tags going to the moon. In a couple months, they're going to overtake X, Y, and Z company. I just really don't think everyone understands exactly how few cards these guys grade. And actually, the numbers are a little surprising, especially when you look at the total pop counts of some of these places. And then, you know, and this is not meant to be a hit piece on tag, but there's just something that's always rubbed me the wrong way about them, and we'll talk about that in this as well. So, who are we going to cover today? We are going to look at Arena Club. To be honest, I don't know a ton about them. I know they're the Derek Jeter-backed company. I know they have extremely cheap prices to grade. I know they have a marketplace that is associated with them. That's about the gist of what I know. I think they're using air quotes, computer assisted AI grading or whatever. If anyone has any experiences with any of these three companies, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But if you've used Arena Club, good, bad, and different, let me know. And I don't really think, I haven't dug in the comps because they're just so all over the place on these. I'm not sure any of these graders add a ton of value to the individual cards. So we're gonna look at Arena Club. We are gonna look at, and I gotta blast this out from the past, our good friends over at HGA. I was long critical on HGA. Do you all remember when they dropped this gem on us years ago?
A proprietary combination of computer vision techniques are used, including convolutional filters, contour and edge detection, morphological transformations, minimum intra-class variance image binarization, and energy optimization-based image segmentation. This is a finely tuned process that we created to determine exactly what parts of the image are the card and what parts are not.
You actually can't find that video anymore online. I believe they pulled it from YouTube, but I did a live reaction of it, so I had to go back and revisit my live stream from that HGA AI video. HGA still kicking. They have had their trials and tribulations over the years. I was always extremely hard on them, and I stand by that. I don't know of any reason to send a card to HGA. I don't believe that they are using fully AI grading based off of that video. I know a lot of people like them. The custom label thing, I get it. I'm cool. Listen, that Otani label right there, that looks pretty cool. It's just not for me. It's not for me. Even if I'm grading for PC, I would rather still use like a CGC. To me, a CGC, do they sell for the most? No. Do they have a perfect label? No, but they have a crystal clear slab. Cards look good in their slab. They feel good in hand. That's enough for me. I don't need all this glitz, glamour, and nonsense on the label to match it up. If that's for you, more power to you. Go with the gods. Do your thing. We're going to look at HGA numbers. Next, and last but not least, our good old friends over at Tag. The future of grading, our AI overlords. Tag, coming to eat everybody's lunch. So let's go ahead and pull up the numbers. And like I said, these are pretty close estimates in regards to what their monthly totals are. So here you have on the screen, we have Arena Club, and I have this laid out next to the September items just for like a comparison's sake. Arena Club in September graded an estimated 3,000 cards. They actually had a pretty big month in August, but they had some very, very aggressive pricing specials around the National. So 3,000 totals cards. Tag, everybody's favorite. They are grading 4,000 cards a month. And then HGA still hanging around. Listen, these guys have lasted way longer than I ever thought that they would, grading about 3,500 cards in the month of September. To me, the more intriguing thing here is actually the total population counts. I would, if I asked blindly at a card show or just in a live stream or chat or whatever, and I've done this before, who has graded more cards, Arena Club or Tag? People would say Tag 100 times out of 100. When I ask how many total cards Tag has graded, people throw out huge numbers. They've only graded 32,000 cards total lifetime ever. That is nothing. Arena Club has graded 83,000 cards, and I don't know anyone that's used Arena Club. HGA, almost 500,000 cards. They've obviously been around the longest. They've been around for probably pushing 3 years now, as they were a very, very early pandemic company. I remember people doing live streams trying to get in HGA drops. Dakota would go live on Friday trying to get in the HGA drop to get slots. And I know Tag's doing slots. So to be fair to them, Tag is still limiting input to a degree. But you look at those numbers and then compare them to, and once again, you know, this goes back to the whole X, Y, and Z grading company is months away from completely dominating this industry. Tag is grading 4,000 cards in a month. That is nothing compared to what these other guys are doing in a week. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't think people realize how small of an impact and how tiny these pop-up grading companies really are in the grand scheme of things. Here's the part, and this is where Tag has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where I kind of think something weird is going on over there. About a year ago, it's about 10 months ago now, Bobbles and Ball Cards did an interview with Tag, with Steve Cass, I believe is the gentleman's name. And he had a quote in there, and I'm going to pull it up really quick. So let's go ahead and watch this clip, and then we'll flip back. One thing I want to note real quick before we play this clip. So this, like I said, this was about 10 months ago. Bobbles was doing a bunch of Pop Report tracking for them. So 10 months ago, they had 3,000 cards on their Pop Report. All right, so fast forward to today, a little less than a year later, they're up to 32,000. So they have graded 29,000 cards in a year. That includes on-site stuff, cards that they've had coming in for submissions, the whole 9 yards. Listen to what he's about to say and then make it make sense. Okay, ready?
Brandon, I'm going to show you in a few minutes 35 to 45,000 cards that are right over there in that room. So the answer to your question is, have people sent us the cards? Do we have them here? The answer is yes.
Okay, and what, so just out of curiosity, 35 to 45,000 cards. What is your estimated turnaround on those?
I'm not sure. We do have a timeline for those cards, but I don't want to provide it. The reason I don't want to provide it is I'm not prepared to tell the marketplace when we plan on going into the market with the kind of scalability that this would answer the question. So yes,
Okay.
we do have a plan. Let's say the people that gave us the cards are aware of when we're grading them, and we've got the cards.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. So you're trying to tell me that 10 months ago, when you guys were a pretty small company, even smaller than what you are now, you had 35,000 to 45,000 cards sitting there. And we are now 10 months later, and you had 3,000 cards on your pop report. So that means you've added 29,000 cards. So in 10 months, you still have not cleared a 35,000 to 45,000 card backlog, and you're still taking in they're doing limited submissions, they're doing their drops or whatever, but you're still grading cards that people sent you a year ago because you had them in-house for the recording of that video 10 months ago. 35 to 40,000 cards. Really? And they do show later in that video, they do go into the vault and they show the cards sitting there. My question with that is, were those cards actually sent in by submitters, or were those cards from investors / owners of the company's PC that they, air quote, sent there for grading? Whether that's to inflate the numbers, maybe just to test the system. Hey, cool. I have a massive collection. Here is 40,000 cards that you guys can test it on, work out the kinks, and build the AI. If that's the case, cool, fine. But that didn't seem like it was presented that way. It feels more like it was, yeah, man, we're the hot new thing. We got 35, 40,000 cards sitting back there. Demand's crazy. We're doing limited drops, the whole 9 yards. That was 10 months ago. Fast forward to today, they've only graded 29,000 cards. You have to assume all 29,000 are not from that initial 35 to 45,000 cards because they have been taking incoming submissions this entire time. So what the hell's going on with that 30 to 45,000 cards that you guys had 10 months ago? That's been the part that's always made me go, what the hell is actually really going on over there? And a lot of people are immediate to jump on the tag bandwagon. And listen, maybe they are going to be the next greatest thing in grading. My whole thing is, can we just take a time out before we proclaim them the new kings and overlords of grading and just sit back and kind of watch how this whole thing plays out before we immediately rush to king them? I have questions about their overall, like how they're grading, what happens if the algorithm has to switch, all that stuff. What happens to the older grades in those slabs? What is the story behind the 35 to 40,000 cards that they had sitting there a year ago? Like I said, I don't know if they do this or not. Anytime they post anything, there's a lot of comments that just seem weird. Like, I don't want to say bot oriented, but I guess I'm going to say like bot oriented or very marketing oriented, I guess we will say. Any video I do on grading, almost always there is a few very boilerplate marketing looking comments on stuff from people that never comment on videos. I'll just leave it at that. So, I'm just making some assumptions there based off of kind of what I've seen. And that's a big reason why when you look at my comment section, anytime someone asks me about tag, I always go, no, like, just chill, guys, chill. Do they have a cool looking slab? From what I've seen, I've held one in my hand. I don't own one. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. The engraving, the whole thing looks kind of cool. Of the 3 of the pop-ups, I would use tag before HGA or Arena Club. That's for sure. And like I said, I would like to see tag perform well. I think AI grading is interesting. I think it needs to be melded with human grading. I don't know that you should ever have fully AI grading. I think there's certain things that you need a human eye, a touch, a feel, or whatever to grade a card. I really do believe in that. Can AI take a lot of the work out of it? Yes, I also believe in that. My whole thing with them and the tag overlords is just, let's pump the brakes a little bit on them and let's see how this thing plays out over the long term. I am, and I will be forever skeptical on any new grading company entering this space. I think the reputation and the longevity of the company play a lot into whether or not I want to use that company and how the secondary market respects it. CGC was a new grader, but they cheated. I mean, they honestly did. They cheated. They had the advantage of, we have coins and we are the dominant force in comic books. And they also went out and hired some very high profile graders from Beckett. That immediately gave them a level of legitimacy that none of the other new entrants had. And they are backed by a massive company. It is not someone in their garage grading cards. And I know Tag will tell you that they have been around forever. Once again, this is not meant to be a Tag hit piece. I just see more comments about them on the whole, future of grading thing than I do the other guys. So if you have a positive or negative experience about any one of these three companies, feel free to fire it in the comments down below. The other thing going forward that I've talked to GemRate about is potentially him tracking these numbers. He does some light tracking with it. That's how we were able to get these ones, that he may provide me on a monthly basis. And we will either incorporate that in with the monthly GemRate video that we do, or maybe it'll be I'd actually probably prefer that it's a standalone video and do a monthly checkup on the three newer kids on the block, if you will. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll work with GemRate on seeing if we could get something set up to get that data. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments, especially on this one. Like I said, if you have feedback on the three, because I have not used any of these three. So I am casting stones from afar on this. But if you have any experience with the three, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. What did you think about these numbers? Are these eye-opening numbers? Is this what you expected it to be? Is this what you thought? Or are you genuinely surprised by these numbers? And if so, how? That's all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.